You're watching Ticket TV. Like, share, and subscribe on your way in.
Boy, Chad, I tell y'all, they got some demons out here. Man, it's unbelievable, bro. And we're going to talk about Nancy Grace. Nancy Grace. Like, share, subscribe as y'all come on in here, man. Salute to everybody. Subscribe to the channel, share the video, like the video. Make sure y'all follow me on all social media. Kick, X, Facebook, TikTok, all the links in the description box below this video. Subscribe to this channel. I appreciate all you guys that subscribe, share this video. Make sure y'all follow me everywhere again. And salute to everybody who support the channel, man. If y'all want to X, y'all can. The links all in the description box below. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Let's get into this video. Nancy Grace, absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting what Nancy Grace just pulled off. Nancy Grace, I'm telling you right now, man, she's been low before in the past. But you want to talk about the lowest of the low. To come out and to demonize black folks and call black folks liars and say that black folks lying about the jury being all white. Nancy Grace, there was not one black member on the jury, Nancy Grace. Not one. You over there running your mouth. There was not one. In fact, that is why the reports are saying that his appeal could be focused on the actual jury selection. Ma'am, the hell is wrong with you? Nancy Grace doing an interview with Austin Metcalf's dad, and I knew that interview, I knew the tone of that, what that interview was going to be. I just knew what the tone was going to be, man. I really wasn't going to do no more videos about this right now. But when I saw her say that in that interview with him, I said, no, ain't no way. She not finna get away with this. And I'm finna play to y'all with Nancy Grace, who I already have my strong suspicions about her and what type time she on. How she came out, y'all, and lied on all the black community. It said black folks lying when they say that this man had an all-white jury. Nancy Grace, Middle Eastern is not black. Asian is not black. You try to use that to say he had a mixed jury? You're disgusting. And you're a disgrace. And Tony, I don't like Nancy Grace. I'm sorry. She's condescending, and she don't keep it 100 on both sides. She's a disgrace. Point blank period. I don't play what she said because what she said was disgusting. And she sat up there and lied on black folks with an absolute, let me say it again. She lied on black folks with a straight face. And it's going to be an answer to that shit. I'm sorry. That's not getting unsaid. You're not going to sit up there and lie on black folks talking about they pushing lies, saying that boy had, let me just play what she said. Listen.
I mean, those are not white jurors.
Listen, y'all.
That is a lie.
Listen.
Voluntary manslaughter. The jury knew about those possibilities. He was convicted in first-degree murder. And I want to clarify something that we have heard over and over and over, that this was an all-white jury. It was not. That is a lie. There were Asian jurors. There were, I believe, this off the top of my head, 3 Hispanic jurors. There were jurors that were from Middle East descent.
Yes.
I mean, those are not white jurors.
They ain't black.
Jury pool, and I'm referring to the petit jury. The petit jury, not the pool of 200 that you bring in to strike the jury. The petit jury is the 12 jurors and the alternates. In the petite jury, there were Hispanics, Asians, and people of Middle Eastern descent. So why is it just so convenient for people to say it was an all-white jury, it wasn't fair? That is not true.
That is not true. It was an all-white jury. Middle Eastern ain't black. Hispanic ain't black. They don't identify as black. They don't get treated as black. You got to do, bro, I don't even want to say that. Nancy Grace, you're disgusting. You're disgusting. You're going to sit up there and try to put black folks in a box. And that's really what you wanted to say. You really wanted to say black folks. That's what you wanted to say. Because we're the people that's saying that the jury was bullshit. Except you got a couple white people that's saying it too. A few. But majority black folks. You going to sit up there on your show and tell us that you're going to spit in our face and tell us it's raining and say that, oh, well, they're lying, saying it was an all-white jury. Nancy, Nancy, what if a white person was on trial and had no white people on the jury? What would you say? What would Nancy Grace say? What would Nancy Grace say if it was an all-white jury, right? I want y'all to think about that. See, I'm going to give you some history on Nancy Grace, right? Right? I'm going to give y'all some history. I'm going to show y'all what time it is with Nancy Grace, right? And I want y'all to think about this, right? I want y'all to think about this. Nancy Grace, right? Hold on. My bad, you guys. Hold on one second. Because I want to show y'all better than I can tell y'all. I really want to show all y'all, right? What type time Nancy Grace is on, right? Right? Hold on. We definitely going to get to this. Because she's going to sit up there and play with black folks. Play with black folks. Right? Play with black folks. Right? Disgusting. Disgusting. And Nancy Grace trying to play like, oh, well, I'm this, I'm that. Man, Nancy Grace, like I said before, right? And I'm just telling you right now, for her to sit up there and say what she said, we'll see what time it is.
The system also works by being convicted of murder also. So.
Oh, and by the way, Austin Metcalf daddy say, yeah, they got a right to get an appeal, but they ain't gonna win. This is what Austin Metcalf daddy said. Austin Metcalf daddy say, oh, yeah, they're gonna get an appeal. They might get an appeal. They have a right to that, but they ain't gonna win. That's what his daddy said.
In order, and all procedures were followed correctly. So, they're entitled to an appeal. I honestly don't think it will be granted, but
so he says he don't think they'll be granted an appeal. Well, guess what? Well, maybe if we get Mr. Greg Willis investigated in the Collin County office with all those allegations they had when they paid out that $1.75 million sexual assault, sexual harassment, quid pro quo, and corruption lawsuit down there, maybe we will get an appeal granted, sir.
That's the way the system works. And
that's the way the system works, he said.
Works by being convicted of murder also. So
now that's important, Mr. Metcalf. You stated convicted of murder. He was not convicted of manslaughter. He was not convicted of involuntary manslaughter. The jury knew about those possibilities. He was convicted in first-degree murder. And I want to clarify something that we have heard over and over and over, that this was an all-white jury. It was not. That is correct. A lie. There were Asian jurors. There were, I believe, this off the top of my head, 3 Hispanic jurors. There were jurors that were from Middle East descent.
Yes.
I mean, those are not white jurors. This jury pool, and I'm referring to the Pettit jury, not the pool of 200 that you bring in to strike the jury. The Pettit jury is the 12 jurors and the alternates. In the Pettit jury, there were Hispanics, Asians, and people of Middle Eastern descent. So why is it just so convenient for people to say it was an all-white jury, it wasn't fair? That is not true.
That is not true, she said, y'all. She playing in black folk face, talking about something that's not true, that it wasn't all. Man, this lady right here. And I'm going to tell y'all something else. Nancy Grace wants y'all to respect this verdict. Now, I want everybody to listen to what I'm saying in the comment section. She wants y'all to respect the verdict of the Collin County District, right? And the district attorney. Even though Nancy Grace has done no reports on all that dirty evidence that we have revealed and exposed about the Collin County DA, the assistant DA, and all that foolishness that's been going on there, the guys that have been alleged, things that have been alleged against them in that multi-million-dollar lawsuit, that $1.75 million settlement. Y'all notice ain't none of the mainstream media reported on that. None of them. They haven't even touched it with a 10-foot pole. But I'm going to tell y'all something, and I want y'all, everybody to think about this. Nancy Grace wants y'all to respect this verdict and respect these proceedings, but she don't respect the O.J. Simpson verdict. Let me say that again, because see, this is where I get surgical on people, man. This is where people can't say shit to me, man. Nancy Grace wants y'all to accept this verdict, but she have dedicated her entire show until this very day to not accepting the O.J. Simpson verdict. Let me repeat that again. I want everybody to hear what I'm saying. She wants you to respect this verdict, but she can't respect in a court of law, in a jury by his peers. O.J. Simpson was found not guilty regardless of what you think. But Nancy Grace don't want you to respect that. In fact, let me look up something. Didn't Nancy Grace, hold on. I'm about to get this right now. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. I'm about to look up something right now. Look up something right now. Because, see, I'm going to keep this shit 100. Right? Let me tell y'all what Nancy Grace did. I knew I remembered this. I don't forget shit like this. Something like this because I watched Nancy Grace. And I was high on that O.J. Simpson trial. Remember when Nancy Grace, she questioned the O.J. Simpson jurors? So she don't have no questions about the Austin Metcalf, Karmelo Anthony jurors. She don't have no question about that case's jurors. None. But Nancy Grace, not only did she have questions about the O.J. Simpson jury, when O.J. Simpson's jury found him not guilty, a jury of his peers, Nancy Grace famously confronted and questioned several of the O.J. Simpson jurors after he was ruled not guilty. She confronted those jurors and questioned them, right? Now think about this. That says while she didn't cross-examine them in the courtroom, she had a highly contentious public showdown with these jurors on her television show after the 1995 acquittal. Remember that? Remember how she was popping all that shit and went down and found them jurors and just talking? I mean, she was going in, right? Now think about what I just said to y'all, right? Now, the Geraldo showdown. Now remember, at that time, she was an Atlanta prosecutor who, like most of the country, was deeply invested into that trial, right? So she was a guest on the episode of the Geraldo show, right? Where Geraldo, remember he had his show, Geraldo Rivera, right? So she was with 3 of the OJ jurors, right? Who had quickly turned into authors to capitalize on that experience. Those 3 jurors right there. And during that taping, she challenged them about their decision to acquit OJ, right? So while she's now telling us, no, you need to accept the jury and their verdict, she didn't accept the O.J. Simpson jury and the O.J. Simpson verdict. Because O.J. Simpson, let's put this up right here. Right here in front of y'all face. O.J. Simpson had 12 jurors, right? Now, Nancy Grace, remember this, y'all. She was mad about this. See how the tables turn? She was ticked that O.J. Simpson had juror 8 black women, 1 black man, 1 white woman, a white man who was mixed with Native American, and a Hispanic man. She hated that jury. Y'all remember? Hold on. I'm showing y'all what I'm talking about. Remember this now. This is for the record, y'all. Nancy Grace hated that jury, right? I want everybody to remember that, right? I want everybody to remember that because Nancy Grace, she went ballistic. Ballistic. Let's see what Nancy Grace, you guys, said. And let me rewind this one more time because y'all have to hear what she said to black folks about Austin Metcalf's jurors. Carmelo Anthony's jurors. I want y'all to listen to this.
The system also works by being convicted of murder also. So
Yeah, that's important, Mr. Metcalf.
sorry,
You stated convicted of murder. He was not convicted of manslaughter. He was not convicted of involuntary manslaughter. The jury knew about those possibilities. He was convicted in first-degree murder. And I want to clarify something that we have heard over and over and over, that this was an all-white jury. It was not. That is
Correct.
a lie. There
Yes, ma'am.
were Asian jurors. There were, I believe, this off the top of my head, 3 Hispanic jurors.
Now, remember, I'm playing this, y'all, and y'all smash the like button. The like should be up in this video. She's naming all the jurors in Karmelo Anthony's trial. But in OJ's trial, y'all, there were black jurors. There was a white juror. There was a white Native American juror. And there was a Hispanic juror. And she complained about the OJ jury. She complained about the OJ. And let me say something. Karmelo Anthony didn't even have 1 black person on his jury. OJ had 1 white woman, a white woman on his jury. All it took was 1 white woman to say, no, he got a hung trial. Nancy Grace had a problem with that. Do y'all not remember? Nancy Grace, who's sitting up here right now complaining and talking about black folks lying when they talked about the jury for Karmelo Anthony, she sat up here and raised holy hell about OJ's jury. And not only that, she confronted OJ's jurors. I'm going to prove that too. When OJ had everything on the list she stated, plus he had a white juror, a Hispanic juror, and a Native American white juror. And Nancy Grace didn't accept that verdict, and she don't accept that verdict to this day. So you want people to accept the American justice system, Nancy Grace, but you yourself do not accept the American justice system, because when O.J. Simpson was found not guilty for murder by a jury of his peers, you have been on a 30-year tirade terrorizing O.J. Simpson and the jurors because you didn't respect the same legal process that you claim black folk and everybody need to respect for Karmelo Anthony. Cap.
That is
Correct.
a lie. There
Yes, ma'am.
were Asian jurors. There were, I believe, this off the top of my head, 3 Hispanic jurors. There were jurors that were
Middle
from Middle
Eastern.
East descent.
Yes.
I mean, those are not white jurors. This jury
Correct.
pool, and I'm referring to the Pettit jury, not the pool of 200 that you bring in to strike the jury. The Pettit jury is the 12 jurors and the alternates. In
Yes,
the
ma'am.
Pettit jury, there were Hispanics, Asians, and people of Middle Eastern descent. So why is it just so convenient for people to say it was an all-white jury, it wasn't fair? That is not true.
You said the same thing about OJ. Nancy, you were complaining about a mainly majority black jury. You complained about this, Nancy. You've been complaining about this for damn near 30 years. You forgot? You forgot? Then you want to lecture black folks after that dude you talking to went on a full racist rant, Nancy. You want to lecture black folks and talk shit about, but you know me, Nancy, I'm better than all the rest. Because I don't have to lie about no videos over here. If I say it, I got it. And Nancy, F with me. You know I got it, Nancy. Nancy, is this not you on the Geraldo show going off on the O.J. Simpson jurors? Let's go.
Armanda Cooley explaining how now she might have a different view of Simpson's guilt or innocence based on what she's found out since the verdict. Hi, everybody. I'm Geraldo Rivera. Here's what one of the jurors said about a key witness. He looked like a snake, a skinhead, a member of the KKK. That's what the foreman, the same Armanda Cooley, had to say about none other than Mark Fuhrman. But, and this is the big news because you heard that last night, listen to this quote. There was not a single complaint about planting evidence. They were racist remarks made by Fuhrman on that notorious tape come to us from none other than the Los Angeles Public Defender's Office, the legal aid office, as it were, here in this side of the country. That office has just completed a review of 35 cases dating back to 1988 in which Fuhrman was the investigating lead detective. And reportedly, the Public Defender's Office has found no reason whatsoever to reopen any of the Fuhrman cases. The public defender's conclusion is, of course, interesting, but it is of little interest to my first guest. John Quinlan Kelly is the defense attorney and former prosecutor who is now representing the family of Nicole Brown. I think it's fair to say he's more than happy with some of the things the jurors have been saying over the last couple of days about reassessing their view of Simpson's guilt.
Now, see,
innocence. Are you not, John?
They tried to get the jury to reassess their verdict. Now, Nancy Grace, get ready to come on here. And I'm finna show y'all this. These people are the biggest hypocrites known to mankind. So you're going to tell me that y'all mad at certain people for questioning the jury, questioning the proceedings, especially when they took it on TV. But y'all sat up here to this day and hoot and holler and cry and complain about the O.J. Simpson verdict and the O.J. Simpson jurors. Are you serious? And Nancy Grace, you was one of the leaders of the entire charge. You sat up there. Matter of fact, let's get right to it.
I'm very happy, Geraldo.
How does it help? How does it impact you?
Well, I think it's good faith and will not be instructed to make any reasonable inferences.
Now let's look at Nancy Grace.
Geraldo.
Let's look at Nancy Grace.
It's become my mandatory question. All right, let me introduce the rest of our panel. We've got a great panel to discuss these statements by these jurors.
Listen to Nancy Grace, y'all.
The role or non-role Fuhrman will play in the civil case, the latest developments, and later in the program, certainly, we're going to bring you up to date on that murder trial involving the people accused of killing Michael Jordan's dad. But let me introduce our panel. I am very pleased to welcome a first-time guest to Rivera Live. This is Nancy Grace, an assistant district attorney in Fulton County, Georgia, which of course includes the city of Atlanta. She's known down in Dixie as Amazing Grace. This former civil attorney has compiled a perfect record since becoming a prosecutor in 1987. 53 convictions, 0 losses. That's even better than the Chicago Bulls.
Thank you.
But you have a serial murder case now?
I do. Can't comment on the evidence, but I do have a murder case coming up very shortly. The parallels to this case are very interesting. However, there's not a $1 million video in the works, but it is coming up very shortly.
Your comments on the video?
Well, I believe counsel said it pretty succinctly. I think it's a shameless effort to profit off of a double homicide. I have compared it often to blood money. Now, the producer of that video is not happy with me saying that, but that's what it appears to be to me. And if the American public wants to buy it, I'm just very embarrassed for them.
Will you say the same thing?
Jeanette Harris. Hi, Jeanette.
Hi.
How you doing? Jeanette joining us from Los Angeles. She, of course, the former Simpson juror who was dismissed from the panel last April, supposedly for not reporting some incident of domestic violence that had occurred early in her marriage. But Jeanette, we're delighted to have you back on the program. What do you think of the video?
I feel like OJ needed to talk. He wanted to talk, and he followed the advice of his learned counsel not to speak during the trial. And that's what he paid them for, that type of advice. And he was a smart person to follow it. I think that his personality, it appears to be one that he has a need to talk. He's from the beginning maintained that he is innocent. I don't see it as blood money as opposed to let me set the record straight. That's how I view it.
What do you think of the jurors coming out and saying now, if they knew now what they knew then, or if they knew then what they know now? Let me get that straight. They knew then what they know now. A couple of them said that they might rule Simpson guilty, at least under the rules of a civil trial.
I was kind of confused when the jurors said that last night on the show. The way they explained it was that they did not feel that OJ was guilty. One of them specifically said that she didn't believe he had enough time to go home and clean up after committing such acts. They're weighing the evidence, which is the same evidence. I believe that even though you're talking about reasonable doubt as opposed to preponderance, the credibility of that evidence is still the questionable thing that's in my mind. At this point, not the prosecution, but both sides, neither side in the civil case has presented anything for me to base an opinion on. Obviously, they both feel that they have a strong case in either direction, and I'd be interested to see just what the Goldman and the Browns attorneys have to present to say that OJ is guilty. I'm interested, and I have a feel for what the OJ's attorneys would say. But I don't know how they made that decision.
Blood money. Leo Terrell, in your usual mild-mannered way, this criminal defense attorney, civil rights attorney, outspoken supporter of the Simpson family during the trial. Blood money?
I don't think it's blood money. There's two good reasons why O.J. Simpson's out there doing a video. It's called Sidney and Justin. He has a right to earn a living. And my colleague, the prosecutor from Georgia, I like her interpretation of Marsha Clark taking $4.2 million worth of blood money on her participation as a public servant. So I disagree with that. I disagree with the concept that O.J. Simpson has a right. He has a right to earn a living. He has a right to support his family. And he is not required to answer questions based on what other people want him to say. He has a right to present his own forum.
All right. Juror Furor, we're calling this one. That's the title. Back in a flash, folks. I think it will be an interesting hour. Stay tuned.
Now,
He could have done it by himself.
But do you think he was involved in their deaths?
He could have been.
Anybody could have been. Do you think he was involved?
now listen how they grilled these jurors, right?
You know something about
They didn't respect the jurors'
I
answers.
don't
They
think
didn't
that he
respect their
did it
answers in court. Listen how they talk to these jurors.
But I think he definitely knows something about it. If he did it,
And I'm gonna say something. Before I play this again, I'm gonna say something to everybody listening to this video. Y'all smash your like button. When the Austin Metcalf jurors come out and they need to put their jurors on the same panel like this and let black folk question them. I'm gonna say it again. When the Austin Metcalf jurors come to light, they need to put their jurors out here on a public platform like this and do the same thing they did to the OJ jurors, because they did not respect the jury's decision. They tried to grill the jury, they tried to bully the jury, they tried to make the jury think they didn't want to vote the way they voted. Put them out here, question them. Like I said before, I would like to see the same thing done, and I would like to ask those jurors why y'all voted the way y'all voted. Straight up. But that's not how it works in America, right? The land of the free, the home of the brave. Okay.
he knows something about it. I don't think that he did it himself, but I think he definitely knows something about it. If he did it, he had help. I don't believe he could have done it by himself.
But do you think he was involved in their deaths?
He could have been.
Anybody could have been. Do you think he was involved in their deaths?
I will not stand to say that without any more evidence than I have now. But it is a possibility he could have done it with help, though.
I think that Mr. Simpson is aware of who's involved in doing it. I don't think he personally did it.
But they didn't prove it.
But they did not prove that to me.
Jeanette Harris, what do you think now? With what you know now, as opposed to what you knew then, do you think it's possible he was involved, Mr. Simpson?
I have no idea. And, you know, when I was a juror on the trial, he wasn't on trial for being involved or being aware or knowing. He was on trial for did he murder those two people. And like I said before, the prosecution did not prove beyond reasonable doubt that he did it.
What do you think of Mark Furman?
When Mark Furman came on the stand, I was bothered with his presence.
Were you bothered immediately?
Now, Nancy Grace, who I was telling y'all about, she had a problem. Nancy Grace had a problem. And actually, like I said to y'all, she confronted jurors from the OJ trial about this shit. She confronted jurors about this, right? I want you to hear what else Nancy Grace had to say on the Austin Metcalf situation. Because it's funny to me how she want everybody to accept this whole situation with Austin Metcalf. Everybody, all black folks got to accept this.
Stunned. I don't know if you were, Mr. Metcalf, when the defense did not put the defendant on the stand, because in every self-defense case I have ever prosecuted or investigated.
Now, Nancy gave it away herself. Nancy, you're telling why he's going to get a new trial. You just said yourself, Nancy, that you don't know why they didn't put this boy on the stand, Nancy. Nancy, this is the reason why. This is another part of the reason why. Because you're saying it yourself that his lawyer is incompetent, and Nancy Grace don't even know it, y'all. Listen to what she said. Now, Nancy Grace was a former prosecutor. She says, oh, well, I don't know why they didn't put him on the stand. Duh! That's the question a million of black folk are asking, Nancy Grace. And that is why he is going to get, that's another reason why he is going to get a new trial. That's another reason why. That's another reason why. You admitted it yourself right here.
When the defense did not put the defendant on the
Things to say, and they're desperate.
I was stunned. I don't know if you were, Mr. Metcalf, when the defense did not put the defendant on the stand, because in every self-defense case I have ever...
Every self-defense case she's ever been a part of, they put the person on the stand, except for Karmelo Anthony. And she's sitting over here wondering why black folks screaming to the high heavens. She don't said it herself. So Nancy Grace don't even know what she's saying, and she's saying it. But she's wondering why people run around here questioning the verdict, questioning this, questioning that. She wondering why. We telling you what it is.
When the defense did not put the defendant on the stand, because in every self-defense case I have ever prosecuted or investigated, you really have to hear from the defendant. You have to hear their side.
Listen to what she said. She said in every self-defense, y'all. But that lawyer, he didn't put Karmelo on the stand. He did a 5-hour defense. Ate lunch and told him, nah, we ain't got nothing else. Are you out your damn mind? That boy fighting for his life, and you won't even put him on the stand to explain himself? You got all these people guessing on YouTube, guessing about everything. People lying about seeing a 4K video when we saw somebody took a screenshot of the video, and it's the same blurry video that all them other people went and saw. It ain't no 4K video. People on YouTube lying. Like I said before, though. Talking about, yeah, man, we got the 4K video ticket. They telling everybody on it, they seen the 4K. Ain't nobody seen it. Then the video that come out is blurry, just like the one they told y'all in court. She gonna sit up here, and Nancy Grace says, I want y'all to peep this now. Because they talk about, oh, well, they're not going to get a new trial. Oh, he going to get a new trial. And I told y'all this. Nancy Grace, it was a prosecutor, and she told y'all. They all lying. To the person who says one wish for us, they all lying. The parents ain't even saying that. Don't y'all understand one thing? Let me say something to you. Don't you understand one thing in America, Jack? The parents ain't even saying that's what happened. Karmelo Anthony's not even saying that's what happened. He didn't say that in any of his transcripts to the police. The parents haven't said that in any interviews, any of that stuff. The only people that are saying that is people who were not a part of the case. That's trying to get clout. You don't need to lie in order to get to the truth. And that's what's going on. A lot of lying. I'm telling y'all this. Bro, let me tell y'all something. Somebody would have sold it. That people out here are hungry for money, bro. If there was that real tape, somebody's bread would have got that tape. If there was a real fork, think about this. TMZ, CBS, CNN, somebody would have bought that tape. I'm telling y'all this. And to the person who says the school Frisco ISD showed the video, that's not right. I got a screenshot of that video, sucker. And that video is not what you think it is. So stop running your mouth in the comment section. You want me to show you a screen? I don't even know if I can show it on YouTube. I got a screenshot of that video. Right? I got a screenshot. That's a cloudy, goddamn 360 type of 480p or maybe even less grainy video. In fact, I'm gonna put it on my X today. As soon as we get off here, I'm gonna put the screenshot on my X. And you tell me if that's a 4K video. Man, get the hell out of here. Stop this capping ass lying. They did not put out the video. You're lying. You guys just lie. Don't nobody want to hear from you no more. You're liars. People been coming around here lying all the time, just lying to get clout. Get out of here. Lying for clout. When y'all hurt the boy Case lying. You hurt the boy Case lying. Now, back to what I was saying. Nancy Grace gonna sit up here and Nancy Grace gave the whole case. Nancy Grace said, never in the history of self-defense cases, self-defense murder cases, never has she seen that person not get on the stand. Play it again.
They need a narrative to spin. I mean, they're hanging on for dear life at the end of the rope.
He said so Austin Metcalf, daddy, say that there's a narrative that need to be spun. No, it's not, sir. All white jury, no blacks. Questions about the DA and the assistant DA. They've had past allegations against them, which was a $1.75 million settlement. Are they even legit enough to even be able to prosecute something like that with those type of allegations against them in the past, which they denied? A judge who was found guilty on 2 charges in the past, right? You can go look those up, of misconduct. That's all facts, right? And allegations of corruption in the Collin County system for over the last 30 years. Even going to the judge's daddy. Look it up. I showed the paperwork on this channel and other videos.
And they're running out of time and they're running out of things to say and they're desperate.
I was stunned. I don't know if you were, Mr. Metcalf, when the defense did not put the defendant on the stand, because in every self-defense case I have ever prosecuted or investigated, you really have to hear from the defendant. You have to hear their side. Nobody can. Self-defense is when you, the defendant, are in immediate fear.
Thank you, Nancy. Nancy, you're telling our case for us. Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate it. You're making our case for us, Nancy. Our case is the boy didn't get a fair trial because he got bad legal advice. Not only that, the jury, not only that, the prosecutors, not only that, the judge. How much more do you want us to throw at you? He got bad legal. See, that's why we try to tell y'all, how can you find somebody guilty of premeditated murder when you didn't even know what their mindset was? The lawyer didn't even put this boy on the stand. And not only did he not put the boy on the stand, he didn't even put the number one witness that was right there on the stand, Hunter Metcalf. This is what we're saying. The judge didn't put Hunter Metcalf. I mean, not the judge. The lawyer for Karmelo didn't put Hunter Metcalf. Those are the two number one witnesses. The people that was right there, Hunter Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony. He didn't put either one of those on the stand. Neither one of them. How are you supposed to know somebody's mindset if their lawyer wouldn't even put them on the stand in a self-defense case? You have to know their mindset to understand whether or not that's why we're telling you and we're saying to everybody that the boy needs a new case and new representation. His legal team was disgusting. So when you add all the factors we telling y'all together, stop telling black folks we out here hooting and hollering and scraping and scrapping and crying about shit, because we're telling y'all what it is.
Immediate fear of serious physical bodily harm or death. Immediate fear that you're going to die. Who else can describe your immediate fear other than you? Nobody. That said, he chose to take the fifth.
Thank you. Nobody can. And she says he chose to take the fifth. We don't know that. How the hell you know if he chose to take the fifth? Karmelo Anthony could have wanted to speak and his lawyer told him no. His daddy went right there in the interview. Hey, y'all, didn't that man daddy say the lawyer told him don't say nothing? Didn't Karmelo daddy say in the interview with the Breakfast Club that the lawyer told him don't say nothing? Am I lying? The daddy said that on the interview. So they followed that weak ass, capping ass legal advice they was given. The hell are you talking about? That's why we saying he needs a new trial. And to the person who said liberal, I don't like Democrats or Republicans, sir. So you can get your funky ass out of here. I don't like Democrats or Republicans. I don't like either side. I think you should abolish the two-party system. I think Donald Trump's full of shit. I think Kamala Harris is full of shit. I think Joe Biden's full of shit. I think they all full of shit. And they all playing in our face. That's what I think. So when you come in here talking that liberal talk, that shit don't work on me, dog. No, that shit. You must not know this channel, bro. You must not know this channel, bro.
Amendment. He did not testify. We can only wonder why. But, well, I've definitely put the cart before the horse. Let's start at the beginning. I want to start with where you were and what happened the day that Austin.
Now, so she went on to talk about this, right? And talk about this whole situation. But I was so mad that she said what she said about that. I was just, man, it made me so upset, y'all, that she sat up there and told black folks that, oh, y'all, she said, y'all complaining and lying on the jury. What you mean? R.I.P. to Austin Metcalf. We do not condone that boy not being alive. I don't condone it. But I'm saying that this other boy did not get a fair trial. You did not hear from him to know why he acted. Think about this, y'all. Everybody is speaking for this dude except for this dude. I want y'all to really think about this. Everybody's speaking for Karmelo except for Karmelo. Except for Karmelo. I want you to put your mind in that 1 second, y'all. Why is everybody speaking for a man except for that man? Peep game. Peep game. Right? And I want to show y'all something else. Right? I want to show y'all something else. Right? Because it's another lie that's been going on. It's another lie that's been going on. We're going to debunk that lie. Right? People lied about the cleat tool as well. Oh, ticket. But he had a cleat cleaning tool. That's a lie. That's why I wish they would go ahead and show all the evidence. Black folks, y'all don't have to lie for this case. This case on its merits alone is a case that can go to a retrial and win. You don't have to lie about it. You do not have to lie about this case. Y'all listening to people who are not credible and y'all repeating bullshit. Karmelo Anthony possessed a knife, not a cleat cleaning or sharpening tool. People have been lying about that. Rumors claiming he used a sport-related cleat sharpener to defend himself were officially debunked by authorities and evidence presented during his murder trial. What are all these people going to say that lied, that's running around here? See, that's what they want y'all to do. Black folks, listen to me and what I'm saying. They want y'all to push lies so they can say, look at all these black folks out here lying. They don't messed up the case. No, they want y'all to do this. So what they're doing is they're throwing out lies so that black folks can look stupid in the end and look like the liars. You don't need to lie. The truth in this case is going to set you free anyways. So you don't need to lie. You don't need to lie. In the court, the prosecutors, listen to what I said to y'all. I want y'all to listen. Because this is how y'all know people just be lying on YouTube to lie. And smash the like button, share this video. I just tell the truth, bro. I don't want to lie on nobody, bro. In court, that's why I told y'all, when they show this knife one day, I want everybody going to shut their mouth. All the people that said it was a cleat cleaning too, they're going to look stupid as hell on YouTube. Prosecutors presented the actual weapon used in the fatal stabbing of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. An Ozark Trail 6-in-1 multi-tool folding knife, y'all. That's what he used. Built with a built-in flashlight, which was purchased from Walmart for $13. These mofos in here telling y'all he had a cleat cleaning tool ticket. You a lie. You a devil doggone lie. Matter of fact, let's look up this right now. They said he got it from Walmart. They presented it in court. See, I'm telling y'all something, man. The good Lord, he always going to bring the truth to the front. He always going to bring it to the front, y'all. I got a picture right here of the exact one. Let me repeat myself again. I got a picture of the exact one right here. I got a picture of it. Here's a picture of it. Here's a picture of it. Here's a picture of it. The Ozark Trail 6-in-1 multi-tool knife with a light and model. 5335, $13.36. $13.36. And this is what the knife had. A light on it. It was a multi-tool. Right here. It had a fire starter, a glass breaker, a cord cutter, a bottle opener. It had all these things that was on it. That is the exact one. And then people come on here lying to y'all on YouTube, telling y'all, oh man, ticket, it was a cleaning tool. No, you're a cleaning liar. That's the exact weapon right there. The exact one. They have it in court, and they still had the blood on it. Why people come on YouTube and lie, I have no idea, ladies and gentlemen. None. It's disgusting to me that people lie. Right? You don't even have to lie. It's not even about the weapon that he had on him. It's not even about that. This whole situation is about why did he react the way he reacted. And we never got to know that because we never heard from him. That's exactly what he had. And they presented it in court. Matter of fact, I'll show you again. You go look it up yourself. It's all in the news reports. You can go right all to the news reports. They actually detailed this in the case to the T. The murder weapon, they presented it in court. Right? Didn't I tell y'all this? I don't have no reason to sit up here and lie. And people tell you, it was a cleaning tool, man. No, the knives are not used to clean cleats. Liar. That's another thing. Knives are not used to clean cleats. What the hell is you talking about? Here we go right here. I'm just going to prove this to you. Are knives used to clean cleats? No, knives are not used or recommended to clean cleats. Stop lying. How do I know? I ran track and cross country. Stop lying. We don't have to lie. Y'all throwing salt in the game, lying. Y'all throwing salt in the game, lying. Lie. You don't need to do that. They want y'all to lie. They want y'all to look stupid and look bad and put out lies. That way they can say, look at all of them lying, y'all. When the truth is enough. The truth is enough. The truth is enough. And it's going to set you free at all times. It's going to keep you free. And I'm going to tell y'all something else. Here's the thing. When Karmelo talk and he debunk all that shit people lying about, what they going to say then? What they going to say when that boy get his retrial, they put him on the stand and they ask him, why did you have the knife? And he don't say to clean my cleats. What they going to say then? These people going to disappear and go to nowhere. I tell y'all this right now. You don't need no type of lie to get to the truth. People out here gaslighting black folks because they want y'all to look bad. They want to debunk everything you say so they'll feed you lies. Some people doing it just because they want clout. Period. Some people doing this shit just for clout. They diabolical. Like the dude that was a sex offender that I showed y'all. Nigga, stone cold sex offender. This dude right here. When he was up there running his mouth, he didn't tell y'all he was a sex offender. Stone cold sex offender. But he sitting up there, I went in there and I went to the ISD and I seen the video, man. And I'm tell you something, man. I seen this, I seen that. He's a fucking lie. The boy's parents said it was only 2 people that walked up to him. The boy's parents said they saw the video. It was only 2 people. The boy himself told his parents in the cops it was only 2 people, Austin and Hunter. I'm not lying. I don't have to lie. The truth is enough on its own merits. The truth is enough on its own merits. No, it ain't possibly to do nothing. That's a lie, sir. That is a lie. Are you guys not understanding this? His legal team is not saying anything. He has not said anything to cops or anything. Go look at the whole police report, y'all. You guys have to understand this stuff, man. His parents ain't even saying the shit y'all saying. His parents is putting this up with what y'all saying. What the hell is wrong with these people? What the hell is wrong with these people, y'all? It's sad, right? It's sad. It's sad. Ladies and gentlemen, it truly is. It truly is sad, right? It truly is sad. It truly is. I'm sad. I'm truly sad. And you got people just come out here lying like that. Hey, chicken man, because see, I'm going to tell you something, man. Lying. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Stop that foolishness, man. We ain't got to do that. The truth always going to set you free. Right? So the person who said nobody sent in Karmelo Anthony's family already did an interview, and they were asked about the tape. They were asked about the tape and what was saw on video. They asked about it. They asked about it. So don't tell me that I'm lying. Don't tell me that. Because I know I'm standing. When you stand in righteousness and you stand in truth, you don't have to lie. They lied to y'all. Right here, the murder weapon. Prosecutors, they presented the murder weapon, and not only did they present the murder weapon, they presented it with blood on it. It was an Ozark 6-in-1 multi-tool folding knife with a built-in flashlight, which was purchased from Walmart for $13. Physical condition of the knife. Images shown to the jury revealed the multi-tool was recovered from the stadium bleachers in partially open position with the victim's blood still on the blade. It's right there. It's right there. Don't you know they got that in evidence? Don't you know they got that in evidence? It's right there in evidence, right? Court records and photograph measurements proved that it was approximately 3.5 inches long. Carrying a blade, that's why the parents' whole argument was that it was not illegal for him to have that knife at the track field. Because in Texas, you can carry a knife under 5.5 inches legally. Legally. And let me say this again. Do y'all not know how many youth are carrying knives like that? I'm just going to tell y'all the truth. It's a lot of young people carrying little pocket knives like this. Everybody sitting up here, well, why do they have that ticket? Bro, let me tell you something. With all the stuff that's going on in schools, school shootings and all that other stuff, I'm telling y'all the truth. I'm telling y'all the honest to God truth. Why you think these kids are getting this stuff? Straight like that. Y'all arguing the wrong points. The point y'all supposed to be arguing is, if he tried to murder this guy, why just stab him one time and then run away? Don't most people that trying to murder a person poke him like multiple times, like trying to make sure they finish him? See, all these questions will be questions that should have been asked and hammered home on. All of them. And I'm telling y'all this. Yet these people out here lying for no reason. Right? For no reason. Think about this. It's been a lot of lies on every side in this case. People just throwing lies just to mislead people. Throwing lies. Right? Throwing lies. I'm telling y'all this. I'm going to tell y'all how people going to get exposed for this. All the people that said that, all the people that said that on tape, let me tell y'all, you better watch what you say, because I'm going to tell y'all something. In the retrial, they will call your ass up under there, under oath to testify, under the penalty of perjury. If you saw 4K tape like you claimed you saw, and then they will ask you who showed you that tape. And when you go under the penalty of perjury, if you lie, they can throw your ass in prison. See, all the people that said that, they didn't say this under the penalty of perjury. They didn't say it. To the person who said the Frisco ISD was showing the video, yes, I saw that video. That's the same video they played in court. Not the video people are lying and making up shit. They say, oh man, it was 4 people that walked up. That's a lie. In the video is 2 people. The man's daddy say the same thing. The man's father said the same thing. So we don't have to build off a lie about this shit, bro. Because if that's the case, tell them people to bring that real fucking video forward and let's clean all this shit out. The point is why didn't they put the boy on a stand to say why he had to defend himself? If the boy would have been put on the stand, guess what would have happened? They would not have been able to find him guilty of first-degree murder. Why is that? Because if I'm sitting down and people, two guys bigger than me, approach me, think about what I'm saying to y'all. If two guys bigger than me approach me, why would I tell them, touch me and see what happened, if they didn't do nothing to me? If two white guys came up to me, bigger than me, and they said, yo, man, hey, what's up, dog? Look, man, we're going to need you to leave out of here, bro, because, you know, the coach and them don't want you under here. Think about what I just said. Why would he then say, touch me and see what happened? You know what I think happened? See, I'm going to tell y'all the truth. I'm going to tell y'all what I think happened. I think them boys went over there and told him, dude, get the fuck out of our tent. And I think Karmelo Anthony said, what you mean? Well, what? Then they probably told him they're going to F him up. And Karmelo Anthony, I believe he said, hey, man, well, touch me and see what happened then. Once he seen him start to grip up on him. Now, think about the position Karmelo Anthony's in on the bleachers. Then, as they getting closer, guess what? It's illegal for them to put their hands on him. Think about this. This is why I told y'all, why wasn't Hunter Metcalf called to the stand? Karmelo, nobody needs to lie for the truth in this case. This case is too easy of self-defense. Why would Karmelo Anthony, who have no criminal history, no gang history, none of this, think about what I'm saying, y'all. I want everybody to think about what I'm saying, y'all, with a straight face. Why would he tell people, touch me and see what happens, if they greeted him with respect? We know what happened. They went up on that boy, in my opinion, and they threatened that boy. And I believe they told that boy, if you don't move, we're going to move your ass, which is illegal if they touch him. And I believe that's when he told him, touch me and see what happened. And then I believe there was a physical altercation. And then think about this, y'all. Whenever you trying to unalive somebody, think about all the cases with a knife. You poke a person multiple times, not once, and run. This is why the lawyer didn't do his job. I told y'all, you don't need nothing else for this case except for the truth. They should have asked, well, why wouldn't he do it multiple times if that's the case? Why would he do it one time, drop the knife, and then run? And go run right to a teacher? Why wouldn't he leave off the campus, leave off the premises if he was really trying to escape? Bro, the lawyer did him dirty in this case, bro. And I'm going to tell y'all something. I believe people have been set up to put out misinformation to all of us so that we can spread this so they can then come back and say, look how stupid these people are putting out fake information. So when y'all come here and say, oh, Ticket Man, he used it to clean his cleats. He didn't say that. His daddy didn't say that. His mama hadn't said that. I listened to the interview. And think about this, y'all. The father said in the interview himself, it was two people. Austin and Hunter. We know that. Why y'all think the prosecution didn't call Hunter to the stand? Why y'all think the prosecution didn't call Hunter Metcalf to the stand? Make it make sense. Why didn't they do it? You know why they didn't do it? Because if they would have called Hunter Metcalf to the stand, the prosecution, they could not control the questions of the defense. In legal terminology, it's called opening the door. I told y'all this before. This is when you open the door and they cannot control the questions of the defense because they called Hunter Metcalf to the stand. And notice something. Ain't nobody asked why they didn't call Hunter Metcalf to the stand. He's the number one witness. You know why? Because he went on the media and he did an interview and listened to what Hunter Metcalf said on the interview. Now that changes the whole narrative when you go in a court of law. Because if he goes in a court of law, they'll pull up his interview and say, well, Hunter, you said this now, But this is what you said in the interview. I think that was with your mother. You said in the interview on TV. Listen, I'm telling y'all, the truth and the merits on this case easily free this boy. I don't believe in my spirit and my soul, man, that a dude that's not in the game, don't have bad grades. You know that they went to every single teacher and student to find some dirt on this dude. They couldn't find none. They couldn't find it. He don't have no background to say he's a thug. This is why. Shout out to my boy Willie D in the building. He says they never have to go by the law to get a verdict. They want free Melo. And he's right. And this is why I told y'all. This whole case, bro, all you have to do is put the right pieces in place, and they would have found him not guilty of first-degree murder. Think about that. Nobody's thinking logically, bro. I showed y'all that video the other day. Nobody's thinking logically. That's asking and coming at the black community saying, y'all capping. No. Why would this boy say, put your hands on me and touch me if they approached him respectfully? Who does that? Who does that? Willie, I got to get you my new number. I had a new number for a long time. I lost your number. I got to get you my number. Who does that? Who? Use your mind. Use your mind. Why would that boy and they can't even say this. The daddy can't even say that boy got a criminal record. But you know what? I want to know, do his sons? And see, this is why I tell y'all, the lawyer was so bad in my opinion. I would have had every single write-up them boys' sons had. I want to know every time they was called to the principal office. I want to know every time that they were suspended. I want to know every single time they had something that was questionable about them boys. That way I could present this to the court and show the court. I want y'all to think about this. This shit truly bothered me when they try to demonize this boy like that. When you don't even have to do that in this case. You don't. You don't have to do this. All you have to do is ask the brother and use common sense. If you're having a conversation with me and it's a respectful conversation and you haven't threatened me, why would I say, touch me and see what happens? Why? Didn't they say Karmelo premeditated? How did he premeditate? How did he premeditate if he didn't know that they were going to approach him? How did he bring a knife to the stadium? This is all the things you have to think about and use common sense. Why would he bring a knife? And like I said, most kids, see, this is the part they're not telling y'all. Most kids are carrying a knife like this in their pocket, a Walmart knife. Most youngins, I've already showed y'all the studies. Over 200,000 high school students each month are taking a knife or a gun like this to school. Each month, not year, month. But they're going to ask you why Karmelo had a knife on him. Most kids are getting a little flip knife like that at one. You know why? I'm telling y'all why. Most of these kids, they go hunting with their fathers, like the Metcalfs. The Metcalf boys had guns in them pictures. Right? Nobody asked Karmelo, hey, man, did you remember you had that in your bag? We didn't hear any of these questions. So we didn't even get to understand his point of view. How can you find somebody guilty and then say, oh, they don't deserve a new trial, when this man didn't even get to explain his side of the story? So you don't even know his mindset. But y'all want to call somebody who's never been in any of these type of situations a stone cold killer. Every single person I know, look at every case. When you was intentionally trying to get somebody out of there, bro, you wasn't stopping at one, bro. You was going continuously. Listen, if that dude was a real hitter like that, he would not have stopped. Everything over there would have been getting dealt with. I just leave it at those words. These are facts. These are all facts. That's why I try to tell y'all, all y'all that's carrying this stuff online, stop that. All the parents got to do is get great representation and eat to these clowns on the facts. Why did they approach him? They ain't no teacher. They not no coach. So why you don't have kids responsible for kids? Why didn't the coach? And think about this. None of the coaches got put on trial over there, just the kids. And the coaches are ones responsible for the kids. Peep game. Peep game. And just to go back and tell y'all this, you got Nancy Grace going on talking about it wasn't an all-white jury, but Nancy Grace had a problem with OJ's jury. She had a problem with OJ jury, but she ain't got no problem with Karmelo Anthony jury. I find that highly disrespectful. I find that highly disrespectful. And with all my spirit, when you look at a kid, you always, because I told y'all, I work with youth. When you look at a kid, you always look at their makeup and their background. I'm telling everybody this before I leave this video. If that boy had any dirt on his name, they would have brought this shit up in court. If he had anything, if he had any write-ups in school, if he had went to in-school suspension, if he had been suspended from school before, they'd have brought that shit in court to show this boy's an animal. They had nothing because he a good kid. He a good kid, man. So why would the attorney be afraid to put a good kid on the stand? I would never. And this is why I say this is injustice what that attorney did to him. I would never not put a good kid on the stand. You know he's a good kid. I would have put him on the stand and I said, hey, look, son, go up there and tell the truth. The truth is always going to set you free in life. Just go up there and tell the truth. Tell him exactly what happened to you. Tell him why you were afraid. And tell him why you did exactly what you did. That way it's on the record and everybody know what was in his mind. You can't tell somebody what's in their mind or how they can be afraid or not afraid in certain moments. You can't. Everybody is different. Everybody think different. Some people, if you get approached by two people, you instantly go into fear mode. Some people, they don't. That's why I said, you look at a kid's makeup, their background, right? Their lawyer should have investigated numerous students from the school that went to school with Austin and Hunter. If any of those kids said they had been bullied, they should have been subpoenaed to go up there to testify in the court. When they have a new trial, they should go and ask all those damn students. And they would tell them, I am going to subpoena you. And if you lie, we're going to prosecute you under the penalty of perjury. I'm going to subpoena their school records. I'm going to subpoena Austin and Hunter's records to see if they've ever been suspended, sent to in-school suspension. I want to know why. Then I'm going to compare that to Karmelo's, who has a clean record. Who has a clean record. It broke my spirit, yo. Broke my spirit. Because they didn't even let that boy speak for himself. And he's a good kid. And when you have a good kid, you're never afraid for him to speak. Because think about this. When you're not in the gang, when you're not committing crimes, when you're not doing anything, when you're a good law-abiding citizen up until that point, what is there to hide on the stand? There's nothing. The truth is going to be the truth. There's nothing that they can do on the other side to twist that boy up. Exactly what happened is exactly what happened. Think about what I said to y'all. To the person who said the lawyer asked, no. Carmelo Anthony's parents said in an interview with the Breakfast Club that they were told to be quiet. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that, especially because you have this type of case where it's a self-defense case where you have to know the mindset. And for them not to even let the boy tell his own mindset, that right there is grounds for a new trial. That's grounds for a new trial right there. Right? So y'all peep what they trying to do. They've tried to throw all these obstacles at the black folks, Jake Lang, all this bullshit. Notice how the daddy ain't saying nothing about Jake Lang racist ass being out there no more. Then the daddy goes on a racist rant. Right? Stone cold racist rant. Think about what I'm saying to y'all. That let y'all know right there. I would have went let me say this, and this is maybe ideas that the new lawyer legal team can use. I would have went deep in this thing, man. I would have dug into the past of the parents. I want to know why the father is not with the mother. See, I'm telling y'all, so I need to get deep on this shit. I want to know, was the father ever violent with the mother? Oh, that's right. Oh, we getting deep now. I want to know if the father was ever violent with the mother. Right? Right? I want to know all these questions. Right? Think about this, y'all. Because the daddy's divorced. If I'm a lawyer, see, this is why I tell y'all, look, you pay the lawyers these money and mofos don't even do their effing job. I want to know, did the sons have to witness domestic violence? I'm talking about Austin and Hunter. I want to know if the father was accused or ever put his hands on that woman. Why do you say that, Ticket? Influence in life. Jeff Metcalf is divorced, right? Think about this, right? Right? Now, they tried to fight the narrative that their split family home contributed to behavioral issues, right? So I'm just telling y'all this, right? I want to know. This is something that's interesting right here, y'all. The Metcalf's divorce proceedings were partially overseen by a judge who later handled the bond hearing for Karmelo. I wonder what that judge knows about those divorce proceedings. Wasn't it a black judge at first who did Carmelo's bond, y'all? Wasn't it a black judge at first? And they demonized that judge when she lowered the bond. They said that judge partially oversaw Jeff Metcalf's divorce proceedings. I would love to call that judge to the stand. Let me look something up. Oh, I'm on to something, y'all. When I get to thinking, y'all, I'm on to something. I want y'all to think about this. The legal reason that Jeff Metcalf and his ex-wife Megan Metcalf got divorced in 2016, you guys, have not ever been made public. That changes a lot. That changes a lot. Now it says because they were private citizens who only came into the public eye following the tragedy of their son, their divorce proceedings, decree, and family court filings remain confidential under standard family court privacy protections. Right? Right? You know what I would love to do? You know what I would have did? I would have called the wife and subpoenaed the wife to the stand. And I would have asked the wife, if possible. I would have interviewed her as well if I was a lawyer. And I would have asked her for the reasoning behind the divorce between her and Jeff. That's very important to me. Why did her and Jeff get divorced? Why did they get divorced? Was it domestic violence? Was it verbal violence, verbal abuse? Did he cheat? Why did they get divorced? Nobody knows because it's been sealed. And I ask that because that has a major effect on the family. And you know what? Nancy Grace, why are you asking these questions to Jeff Metcalf? Why not ask him why did he get divorced? Why not ask him, has he ever been accused of domestic violence or putting his hands on his wife? Why not ask that question? Right? See, a lot of people who are violent and get in situations, they learn this and they see this from within. So it's very important to find out those answers. It's very important to find out those answers. And I would love someone. Notice everybody's interviewing the father. I want to see somebody interview the mother and ask her why they got divorced. I would have asked her, why did they get divorced? How did it affect your sons when y'all got divorced? When you guys were together and things wasn't working out, how did it affect your sons? Right? There's a lot to this case that has never been uncovered, bro. And I tell y'all, every single day, I miss guys like Johnny Cochran, man. Johnny Cochran would have towed his case up. Johnny Cochran would have came out with some shit, man. I'm telling y'all, bro. He would have had his team. They would have found all kind of shit on the goddamn, on everything that was in all this stuff that we found out later on. And shout out to Dr. Candace. All this stuff that we found out later on about these guys, the lawsuit, all this, Johnny Cochran would have got the venue moved. As soon as they did that to them parents as well, and the parents had to move, he'd have got the venue moved. He would have cited all these different issues. Then when he got the venue moved, he would have made sure that the jury selection, that's why it's important to have this is why. Johnny Cochran would have, you think Johnny Cochran would have went forward with that jury selection the way it was? Y'all people crazy as hell, man. Right? I pray they bring all these things to the table and they have a legal mind that will go to every single aspect of this case, because you need that. You need to be able to go talk to and investigate the Metcalfs. You need to be able to go talk to and investigate the school, the students on both sides, the teachers, the staff that was present. Why wasn't any of the staff members? Were any of the staff members fired? Think about these things. Think about these things. This is what you get a PI for. This is what you get a PI for. Right? When they do their appeal, and I believe they'll win their appeal, they got to get a PI, a good PI, to find out all these things. And they should have a list of targets that they need to address. Right? That way you can paint a better picture to the entire world on this case. Right? Y'all stay blessed, man. Shout out to Willie D too, man. Y'all stay blessed, man. All right. But yeah, bro. All this stuff y'all keep talking about, a knife and all the other stuff, bro. Cleat cleaner, bro. His parent. Listen. Let them say what was in the case. The parents should be, they was in the courtroom every day. They should be able to tell us everything in the sun. Right? So hopefully when they get their retrial and they get that good ass lawyer and those investigators they need, the truth gonna come out. Because nobody asked Jeff Metcalf in none of them interviews he did, has he ever assaulted his ex-wife? Nobody asked him. First question I would have asked him, Jeff, what happened between you and your ex-wife? You guys got a divorce. What type of relationship did y'all have? Do you feel like that affected your sons growing up? Were you ever in violent situations with your ex-wife? I'm just asking a question. First question I would have asked him, that would have set the table. Right? Right there. Have your sons ever been suspended from school? Let's see if Jeff goes on a black network and does an interview with somebody black. Because I'm going to ask all them questions. He ever come around here around me, I'm going to ask him every one of them questions. Right? Like, share, subscribe, man.
Hey, we always appreciate the support, and if you guys want to do so, you can use the Cash App or PayPal links. They'll be in the description box below this video or pinned at the top of the comments. The top donators will be announced every month. All right, you guys, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure y'all cop the merch, and make sure that you get the weight loss formula. The links to that will be in the description box below this video. Check out our next video coming up right now.